really my real inspiration for tattooing was from the Pike. You know, because I mean, my parents would take me and my brother there. That was our favorite place to go. We liked it better than Disneyland or Knott's or any place. So you could win cheap prizes, and you know, the food was carnival. Amusement parks. It was just everything about it. I just loved it. I loved it, and including they had tattoo shops there, which I didn't know what a tattoo was when I was a little kid. They're tattoos, son. And it's like, well, can I have one? And she says, no, they're for sailors. They're not for little boys. Well, I'll be really extra good and all this shit. And you goes, no, you can't, because she knew at least somewhat what the process was, and I didn't know or care. It was just like, I want one of those. I mean, you know, so, and it was art to me. So I knew that, but only as much as a 5-year-old kid can understand. You know, my comprehension wasn't shit, but I just knew visually. It was like, I like that, I want that. And then 10 years later, I had my first one right here. Let me turn this up. You know, and that started my whole career. Originally, this is 2019 will be 50 years I've had this. Yeah. Wow. Boy, that sure is cool. So that was 1927. So yeah, that was, you know, my original interest. Oh wow, this is so cool.
What does this remind you of?
I liked tattoos and wanted them before I even knew what the hell they were. Oh, this is great stuff, man. Yeah, so anyway, when my homies saw what I did, and I got hit up by a lot of them guys to do stuff as well, so of course I did. And that's what got, you know, then in 1973 is when I went with a homie down to the Pike for him to get tattooed, because he wanted me to do it in my machine. My homemade machine was fucked up. So we went down. I go, let's go down to the Pike and see if anybody's good down there. So we went down there, went to all 3 shops, met Charlie at the last shop, and he ended up tattooing my friend. You know, that's how we met. So that was this April will be 46 years ago that I met Charlie. Yeah. Right? So there you go. Man, time flies when you're having fun.
Do you recognize any of the flash on the walls?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember this stuff here, you know. That stuff was on the walls when me and my homie, you know, went there. But he didn't get tattooed there. He got tattooed at the last shop that was called West Coast, I think it was. Anyway, that's where Charlie worked. That's where we met Charlie, and the rest is history. And here we are today, checking all this shit out. So this is really, really cool. It's a trip too, because Lucky painted this sign, but it like really looks like it's much older than it is. It's great though. It's really, really, really cool. Yeah, another reason I wanted to go down there was because that was the end days of the Pike. They had already gotten rid of the big roller coaster. The Cyclone Racer was already gone, and they were in the process of closing it down. So I definitely wanted to, check it all out, before it was all gone. Yeah, the only thing that's left now is what now is Carrie's, Carrie Barba's shop. That's pretty much it from the old Pike, I think. They used to have one of the old bars was still around, but I don't know if it still is. The Checkerboard, as I recall.
I don't think so. I
Yeah,
think the only thing.
It might be gone. I think the only thing that's left is her shop.
Now this is the culture that when you were tattooing.
Yeah, this is what I grew up with all this kind of stuff. You know, these kind of tattoos, which I even have a little piece of shit version myself that I did left-handed. You know, and it's upside down. You know, so I can see it. But anyway, yeah, that's not just random dots. That's like that's about 49 years old as well. Did that around the same time I did that. I always forget I have that though, because it just looks like, you know, like nothing.
Yeah, it looks.
Because it kind of devolved into, you know, this is still recognizable, sort of. You know, after all this, I started with Charlie in the summer of '75, so it was kind of at the tail end of this era, you know. That was a trip to see this. This brings back, you know, a lot of memories. We were the first tattoo shop in East LA, and I was there from '75 until '84. When by that time Ed Hardy owned Good Time Charlie's, and he decided to sell the building, and then that's when I decided that I'd go to another location. I ended up in Anaheim. It opened up in January of '85. So that's coming up next month, 34 years.
What is that done on?
Some kind of illustration board.
Did that really hang outside the shop?
Oh no, that was always inside.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like, you know, illustration board, cardboard type.
What is it like seeing the three of you guys on a museum wall right now?
Oh, it's cool. It's cool. It's a great painting that Sean Barber did, I believe, of Charlie, and it's a good one of Freddie, and me working on Johnny, Jersey John. A lot of cool stuff in here. And this is one that Charlie and I did in '77. And this was after going to the Reno convention, which there was maybe like 15 booths total. Of course, it seemed humongous to me, not having anything to compare it to, but we met people like Ed Hardy, Mike Malone. We knew Bob Roberts, I think, already, but Paul Rogers and other living legends even at that time. And we came back and you see what we signed here. We didn't even sign our names to this, and we did approximately half of it each, you know. And instead of signing our names, we did this here. These designs of distinction were executed by the two notorious nobodies of East LA. Because that's what we kind of thought. You know, I think that's even maybe a subtitle to our book, The Two Notorious Nobodies. This one here, this is one that me and Freddie both did. And we did about approximately half the page, half the sheet each. And these three are mine. And this is me and Charlie, you know, of course, you know. Yeah, this is the only one. There were, I think, maybe some others, but Ed Hardy has those.
And how special is it that it's in Long Beach?
Yeah, I mean, again, where my original, inspiration for tattooing came from. See, then when I was, growing up as a teenager, a lot of my Chicano homeboys had older brothers that had done joint time, and so a lot of these guys had tattoos, and that was my original inspiration for making my own machine, was from these guys. Wow, look at her.
So that's Carlos Torres.
Another amazing artiste, and our own Chris Brand, right here. Boy, this guy's talent just blows my mind. He can tattoo, he can paint, he can carve wood. The guy can do, soft shoe and tap dancing. I mean, he's really, well, I don't know if he can really do any of that, but he is an amazing artist. Multi-talented. And she's holding a magical tattoo machine. And who did this painting here?
That's Nico.
Huh?
Nico.
Nico. Wow. See, she's got the forbidden book of tattoo knowledge here. A magical tattoo machine. And there you go. That's the name of that tune. Originally it was, well, I don't know what it was originally done on, but its most popular form is where it's done on bone. So it's carved, carved into bone. And then they rub some sort of ink on it, like this is done. Because when you're doing this, you don't see that, so they get some kind of ink or something and rubbed on, and maybe it even says here, this was designed with leather tableware and made so it would puncture the tableware with a needle dipped in shoe polish. There you go. But it's more like it's scratched. It's scratched in, It's not like done like with a tattoo machine, because you've got, reciprocating needle action, and it's like that won't work on something like that unless you were just trying to do shading, stippling or something, That's the time they often use their artistic creations to barter for things that they want from other prisoners or guards. Hell yeah. Very, very true.
So there's like a machine over here.
Yeah, this is one of the real common types. It's made out of a cassette player motor, which, of course, these are antiques. But so I don't know what I don't know if they still, have those in prison. And if they don't, then they're, I don't know what they're making them out of now. But, any kind of a DC rotary motor can be used to make a tattoo machine.
What did you use to make your first tattoo machine?
An electric razor. Electric razor that my dad had that he didn't really like, he didn't really use. And when I was 17, I asked him if I could have it, since he didn't use it and stuff, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I guess so, but what the fuck do you need it for?" I didn't have shit as far as facial hair goes in those days. It was like, well, maybe it'll motivate the hair follicles. You know what I mean? Maybe it'll help. And he goes, yeah, I don't care. He didn't know what I was going to do with it, you know. He probably would have said no if I told him, I want to make a tattoo machine out of your electric razor. But he thought that was funny. What the fuck do you need it for? Ah, gee, thanks, Dad. I was just kind of late, you know. It all came in, obviously, but you know, not when I was 17. No.
But do you know much about Chad's?
I don't, except that this is one of his iconic designs that he's done. I met him only once, and that was that might have been this year, 2018. But I just know he's a legendary, you know, graffiti artist and artist. You know, lettering, you know, is another thing that he does. I mean, like, look, and that's, you know, he's got a style that's evolved, that's got elements of gang writing in it, and calligraphy, and just like, you know, this guy's really something else. He's you know, amazing artist. What a trip. Oh, this is yeah, this is the infamous room. Wow.
Why does this make you so happy?
Oh, this is just, I remember seeing photos on Instagram during the process of this, as this was all coming together, you know, and just to now see it, you know, in person, it's just, man, oh man, it's just so crazy. So much better in person. Just really amazing. Yeah, of course I should have been in here and had something to contribute as well, of course. But I think I was gone during this time that this was, you know, being done.
Well, then wait. Who did that? Who did that Jack Rudy piece on that back wall?
Somebody from the shop. Evan did it. Yeah. Yeah. He asked me if he could. It was like, yeah, sure, man, go ahead. You know, yeah. That was a piece I did for our infamous art exchange that we do every year. Every year the shop does. You know, oh wow, what a trip. Recreated. Man, that's a sheet that there's a lot of my characters on there. Some of Ed Hardy's.
That collaboration sheet that you were talking about between you and Ed?
Actually, Mike Brown redrew this, as you see in '84 here, with the original designs by Jack and Ed, me and Ed Hardy. Did all those. Yeah. So it's a collaboration of mine and Ed Hardy's stuff, which he was, you know, really inspired by the whole East LA cholo scene and lowriding action and the whole deal, you know. But then it's a trip too, because then Mike's part of that, because, you know, he redrew all these and did his thing. That's really cool to see this giant sheet of flash, man. It's great. Really cool. Just so cool. Bob Roberts, man. So even though I didn't do it, it's like, you know, that's the closest thing in here to something that, you know, I would have done if I'd had the opportunity. This is just mind-blowing. Wow.
So what do you think of the exhibit as a whole?
Oh, I think it's fantastic. It's really visually stunning, I must say. Just so cool.